Hi, Tammy. Hope you're well.
Hey, Sid, I'm great, thanks. How are you doing?
I'm good. I'm still awaiting your presence on my side of the woods.
Yes, soon. I know lots of people. I don't know how I'm gonna spread myself like an octopus because there's so many invites that I've got. So I'm trying to pull certain people together and then have like a joint thing where I can see everybody. That's what I'm doing
Clever.
today as well. Yeah, I'm seeing another group of people, and I said, guys, it's just too many. So we've got about 8 friends coming together. We're having a
Wow.
brunch this morning. Yeah. So but I will make time to see you definitely.
Awesome. As usual, it's always a pleasure to have you, especially for today's topic, investing in Dubai, the opportunities, risks, and insights. So to get the ball rolling with you, Tammy, what makes Dubai such an attractive destination for investors from around the world?
Okay, so Dubai, if you know, it has become recently the most attractive hub for just about any type of business. It's got a mix of the policies, the geographic locations, the lifestyle advantages. So Dubai in a I know the big magnetic pull towards Dubai is the tax advantages. So there's no personal tax, and you even for the businesses there's a low or zero corporate tax when you're dealing in certain sectors, and I think the taxes. I do stand corrected. I think it's about 9% for corporate tax, which is still very, very competitive
Hmm.
globally. They don't have capital gains tax, and also they are very business friendly environment.
Hmm.
So and what's nice is Dubai is consistently, I love their consistency about doing business. Everything is black and white. There's no gray areas. So you want to start up a company, a quick company in the free zone. There's minimal bureaucracy. There's just so much of pros to doing business in Dubai, and also they have. Such a strong diversified economy. I mean, you think about it. I have been there and I've met people from places that I've never even heard of. I had to literally go onto the map and say, oh, where is this place here, and where is it's just so amazing to see how much of diversity the oil historically has played a major role. But look at how they've diversified from just the oil to the tourism, the real estate. Financial hubs are flocking in there. Trade trade is absolutely huge. So they also have the one license where you can start up a business there, but you don't actually have premises because it's just offshore. And you do your business, you do your trade there. And most of the companies, I know, they use Dubai's port as a halfway port, like from Indonesia, from China, from India, from all over, from the Caribbean. So lots of companies. Also, what's very attractive is the high quality lifestyle. So you
Hmm.
have your modern infrastructures, the luxury lifestyle, your the places that you want to stay. You want to either stay in an apartment or you want to stay in a villa. Obviously depending on what your pocket allows for. And also it's not like before where you had to have a business in Dubai, or you had to have a residency set up in Dubai. You If you want to invest now, especially with property, if you buy a property for 2 million dirhams, which is 10 million rand, you can get the golden visa automatically. So
Hmm.
this has been quite an attraction for local investors, and there's lots of South African investors there, and skilled professionals as well. So they focus a lot on like the renewable energy, the blockchain, the like the buzzwords that are currently going around. So they're like very first to jump onto the bandwagon with certain things. In terms of political and the economy, they're pretty stable. They've got a stable government, they've got strong regulatory systems. As I said, everything's black and white, there's no gray areas. And they're very pro business policies. So, in a nutshell, if I had to say, they are very much, the low taxes, the global access, the modern infrastructure, and I would say investor friendly regulations. So, it's a nice mix in Dubai.
I wanted to check with you in terms of accommodation between the villa and the apartment, which one would be more practical in terms of expenditure, in terms of what how much you'll be paying more over time.
So it all depends on your pocket, really. So
Oh,
here in South Africa, I am in a three-bedroom standard, three-bedroom, three-bathroom, lounge, dining room, a massive yard. If I had to mimic this in Dubai, I need about 20,000 rand,
oh,
whereas this is under 2 million rand. There in Dubai, I've got a one bedroom apartment, and that is close on to 1.5 million rand. So sorry, okay, 1.5 million dirhams. So it all depends on your pocket at the end of the day. If you can manage it, if you have 10 million rand, you can actually invest in a very nice apartment. Also, the area I live in, central Dubai, right across from the Burj Khalifa, one of the tallest buildings in the world.
mm,
So the location as well. I can get a three-bedroom, four-bedroom, or even five-bedroom apartment, maybe in Sharjah or in the outlying areas, and pay a third of the price that I'm currently paying. But
wow.
I've got to spend anything from an hour to 3 hours on the road. So it's you got a budget of, do you
Mm,
want to, are you okay to travel? Look, the metro is fully operational, right? So a lot of people live in the outlying areas and then they travel with the metro. If your company is close by to the metro station, the bus services they work phenomenally well, but the traffic is horrendous at times. So if you can bypass those things and you want to like live in a cheaper area, you can do that. You can do that very, very easily. But as I said, it's either you pay the extra money and live close by, or you pay the cheaper amount and you commute. It's totally up to you.
awesome. All right. There's a question for you in the comments by Resh Jitan. Hi, Tammy. Apart from property, what else can one invest in? With the current political situation in the Gulf, is it advisable to invest? How safe are investments in Dubai?
So, thank you, Resh Jitin. It is pretty safe, I would say, but especially giving or on the norm, it's very safe because, as I said, Dubai is very black and white. Your investments are sort of secure. But given the current situation, nobody knows where we stand. And so, right now, there's a lot of people that are actually pulling out from there. I know I belong to a Safas group, and there's in the past week, 18 families have come back to South Africa. So some of the companies, I know of two of my friends where the companies said, go back, and certain things they're working remotely, working from home. So we really don't know where we stand with that. But in terms of investing, right now property is the key thing for investments in Dubai. If you've noticed, I don't know how well you know the property market in Dubai, but the large car manufacturers, the large name brands, if I can give you an example, like Lamborghini Torino, They coming up, they've actually done an apartment building near the new casino that's coming up there. So everybody is gravitating now, because it's the first casino for Dubai. Everybody's gravitating towards that area, and the property, you can invest in that area right now. That would be key, and I promise you the return on investment there is phenomenal. The And I've seen it myself. I've delved into the property market, and I've seen how the investments, the return on investments is absolutely great compared to South Africa. So if you've got a pretty penny to spare, go ahead and
Mm,
invest in property. There's a lot of the other things as well, in terms of like the theme parks, as I mentioned, the casino. There's lots of the technology, the fintech. So there's lots of things that you can invest in Dubai. The tourism is huge. Tourism and
mm,
hospitality. I've never seen a place that has so many hotels ever. And at any given time, majority of these hotels are fully booked up. If it's seasonal. And what's nice is that um, winter in South Africa is summer in Dubai. So a lot of people go there on holiday, and vice versa. So throughout the year, you have got full occupancy of all the hotels. I've not heard of any hotel being empty, or has, at a click of a finger, they've got availability on accommodation. So Dubai is the key place for just about anything and everything. So healthcare and wellness is another huge thing that people are focusing on. And they even, on your when you're applying for your visa, they, on the visa status, you'd go get your 30 days, your 14 days, etc. They even have medical and wellness visas. So medical is like your operation. So I know I've been into hospitals last year in Dubai, and I was blessed. I was so grateful to be in the best place in the world, with the top surgeons from around the world treating me. So you've got the cream of the crop of surgeons, doctors, you name it, from around the world. If you want to have any type of op, you do your research in Dubai, and you can get the best treatment ever. The wellness side, the wellness is huge in Dubai. So wellness is like your IV drips, your beauty stuff, your your plastic surgery. And I know a lot of the like the Lebanese, the Jordanian women, lots of people come there to have their nose jobs done, and the recovery period there is so quick. Where If I can give you my own example, the op that I had last year in August, I had the operation, and 2 days later, I was in ICU. 2 days later, I was sent home. My friend had the same operation here in South Africa. She was in hospital for 18 days, and she's still not that flexible, not that mobile as yet, because I don't know how they've done the operation, but and even the type of cut that she's had, um, it looks like she was butchered. Whereas with me, you'll never say that I had an operation. It was
wow.
literally like like the top of a nail head. That's how
Mhm.
tiny the aperture was. So if if I could tell you that you're worried about your looks, you're worried about how you're going to heal, research, do your research. Yes, it is much more expensive. I don't know of any medical schemes that cover you abroad, but
Mm.
and I don't know of any medical schemes there in Dubai that would cover an expat outside the country. But do your research, and the technology that they use is absolutely amazing. It is really, really top notch. They've really come so far. Hope
Awesome.
I've answered that question.
Yeah. All right. Just to continue on the investment side, what are the most popular investments sectors in Dubai right now, and why?
So definitely real estate.
Okay.
There's if you're buying a property and you rent it out, there's high rental yields on that, and there's strong demands from expats. They have, and they've also got some nice long-term growth plans for property in Dubai. So it's not to say that, like, oil and gas runs out, then what are we going to do? Dubai
Hmm.
is still quite a magnet for lots of things, and it's such a nice halfway mark to a lot of destinations. So I
Hmm.
don't think there's ever going to be a time where Dubai is going to douse down with the population, with the people traffic that's going to be visiting Dubai. So definitely, if you want to invest in real estate, even the Airbnbs, if you look at it, especially during the festive period around Christmas time, it is so difficult to actually get properties. So if you want to invest in real estate, I would say hands down, go for it. The next is the technology, e-commerce. The What's nice is, they have a lot of these smart city type of projects. So they have fast growth, and they work with, I don't know the dynamics behind it, but they work with blockchain, AI, and you name it. And they have a lot of they're focusing a lot on the crypto and so forth. The As I mentioned previously, tourism and hospitality, it's one of the world's top tourist destinations, and I don't think that's going to die down anytime soon. And there's a constant flow of people traffic there. Then again, what is the health and wellness, like I mentioned, and they are also they were focusing on the Going Green initiative. So, like the sustainability, the renewable energy, and they've got a strong. So, if you coming there with a fantastic idea about renewable energy or the Going Green initiative, the government will listen to you. So, if you've got a project and you want to pose it to them, so I would say go for it. So, and what's nice is something like that where it's improving the economy, the government will listen to you, and yes, you can get funding for that.
Lovely. How easy is it for expats or first-time investors to enter the Dubai investment market?
I would say it's relatively easy compared to most global markets, but it's not. I would say it's not completely effortless.
Yeah.
You do your homework initially, and
Hmm.
you get everything. I mean, I think in any country, you do your homework initially. You do the proper things in there, and from the start, I would say, and then it should be smooth sailing. So why I would say it's fairly expat friendly is it's foreign friendly rules, I would say. Most of the expat businesses, you have your designated areas for, and there's simple setup rules. So if you want to set up a business, they've got the steps, and you follow those steps, you fine. If you're new to it and you don't know what the other side entails, I would say engage in a PRO service. You get tons of PROs there. You engage in a PRO service that offer this functionality where they can be your man on the ground in Dubai, setting up the whole thing. I know of people that have not even set foot in Dubai and have started up a business there or have
Wow.
bought property there. So you can get that middleman, and it works out. Yes, you're paying them a service, but it works out so much better. They take away the hassle from you. The setup process is fairly simple, provided you give them all your documentation and all the relevant things that they need. The free zones, you get the free zones where basically anybody can, if you want to go and start up a little coffee shop there, you can do that. But and say, like your big players with the Microsofts or the Dell, whatever it is, the big players, there you would need a mainland license, and you would need a local investor. So you would need an Emirati to invest in your business, to have a mainland license, which is obviously more expensive. Um, the challenging part is you would need upfront capital. If they tell you you need 20,000 Rand, I would say times that by five and always have money in the coffer, because there's costs that come up for things that you don't even you don't even think about upfront. This is that if you're doing it yourself. If you stick to the paperwork, the regulations, the banking stuff, the visas. So most of the businesses, they offer the tiered approach. So you can get your license, you can get certain brackets of your visas, etc. So this is how the big players work in the corporates, where they have their license and they can get like 100 visas. So this is how they give the expats the visas. So I would say it's for expats starting and investing, with the right guidance, with the proper PRO helping you in the process. Having it should be pretty simple, pretty streamlined, and pretty easy to start up a business there.
Yeah, yeah, you mentioned about the challenges, so I think I'll touch upon that further in terms of what risks should investors be aware of when investing in Dubai.
Some of the risks, I would say, I wouldn't say it's risk free totally,
Hmm.
but there's certain things that you need to keep in mind where you have like real estate volatility. We don't know what the market's going to be holding.
Yeah.
There's often, like if you look in South Africa, you get the booms of the property
Hmm.
market, and then you get the slouch, the slumps in certain
Yeah.
areas. So yes, I've seen articles where and I've seen and I know of people where they've had tenants in their apartments for like 4 or 5 years, and then they give them notice because they can get a higher price in certain areas. So they give them notice, and then they re-advertise the apartment at a higher price. So there's the market volatility which impacts um, certain people. If you got a good landlord or something that's not really worried, it's more of the investment, you find. But certain areas, yes, people do get money greedy and they do funny things. So sometimes the other risk is it could be like regulatory, changes with
Hmm.
taxes. Not that I've seen it, but those sort of things. I know a big thing, a risk factor is the visas. So depending on your type of visa and the length, the duration. For the past 3 years now, Dubai is only offering 2-year visas. So no
Oh.
matter who you are, yeah, if you're an expat coming to work, unless you have a golden visa, which is 10 years, they're
Okay.
only offering the 2-year visa. So your license is 2 years, your visa is 2 years. So everything around that, and you got to renew all the time. I don't know if this is like a money making thing for them, but everything is 2 years. So that is one of the factors that can possibly pose a risk, is the visa duration. Um, the other thing, look, I have not been into it, but maybe liquidity, selling a property or existing business, that if you want, sometimes it's not that easy to sell in certain areas. Yes, there's certain areas that are in demand, but if you're looking for a quick sell to get out of the
Hmm.
country, or to get into get some money quickly, some investments aren't as liquid as other places, or in certain markets as well. So there's lots of other factors that sort of uh, you've got to factor in as risk. So the trade, the tourism, which Dubai focuses very, very heavily on, and also foreign capital. If you're bringing in your capital into the country, certain times there's global downturns. I mean,
Hmm.
look now with what's going on, flights have been stopped, flights have been
Yeah.
cancelled. So can you still operate your business remotely. Those are the type of things that you need to factor in. I mean, it doesn't happen all the time, but this is something
Yeah.
that nobody predicted, you know. So there's certain times with the banking and financial industry as well, opening up bank accounts, securing funding there, lending rules. And also, I want to stress as well, especially even if you are working in Dubai, right? And you have, because you have got, if you're working in Dubai, you have got to have a local bank account.
Mm,
Please, 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 all the people that are working there, if you've got businesses, as soon as your visa is cancelled or your visa's expired, they stop everything. They stop your bank accounts, they stop everything. And you do not have access to those bank accounts for 30 to 60 days because they hold those funds. As say, if you had a loan somewhere and you didn't pay it, they check that if you've had any outstanding monies owing, so they hold that funds for a certain amount of time before they can release it to you. So if you are in Dubai, if you're working in Dubai and you know that your contract is ending, you don't know whether it's going to be renewed or not, I would say transfer those funds. If you need cash to operate for a month or two or three, transfer the funds, leave some in the bank account there, but transfer majority of it so you do have liquid capital when in that limbo period, or if you planning to retire or something, because they do hold those funds. I know of a very close friend where her bank accounts were frozen. She couldn't even pay her cell phone bill. Oh, that's another thing. Your cell phone gets frozen as well. So you can't even make phone calls. So you're literally
mm,
stumped with when it comes to those kind of things. So I think in a nutshell, Dubai offers strong opportunities, but the success depends on timing, due
mm.
diligence, choosing the right sector to invest in, and I would say anybody, do your research properly before you want to invest in there.
So if you don't mind me asking, so are you the one that's on the 2 year or 10 year visa that is?
I'm on. Because we bought a property now. We've applied
Oh
for
yeah.
the 10 year. So yeah.
Oh not.
So
Okay.
both hubby and I. Look, even that is quite pricey. Yes, you're getting the 10 year visa, but it is quite pricey. So
Oh,
we've just applied for that now, and but I'm on the 2 year. But my license, when I go
okay.
back now, I will have to renew that. And luckily for
Okay.
South Africans, it's
Mhm,
just a like a swap out, but there's a cost, obviously. You don't have to go for
mm.
the whole driver's license test and so forth. It's just a simple renewal.
How does Dubai support and protect investors through its regulations and policies?
Ooh, look, they do have some strong regulations in place. You know, they've got, I would say, investor friendly systems. And they, like, even on their websites, the various websites, you would get a detailed breakdown on the regulatory framework. So some of the things to consider is your the free zones, whether it's full ownership, 100% foreign ownership, the investor protection in real estate, and like even in real estate. So they have the DLD, which is Dubai Land Department. Then you've got like your RERA and your WEWA. RERA is the water and sanitization. Then you've got your, which is pretty much compulsory, is your the gas and the air cons. So those are some of the things that you need to consider there. Excuse me. The It's pretty straightforward if you go onto the various websites, and if you adhere to them, you should be pretty fine. Being strict, because if you falter on those things, it can cost you. They can really penalize you. They can fine you with certain things. So, as I mentioned on the visa status, if as soon as your visa is cancelled or expired, every day after that, they charge you a penalty. And if you are still there, it can cost you quite a lot. So, and then, sometimes there's disputes, there's arbitration, and, all those kind of things, money, anti money laundering compliance and so forth. So Dubai has strengthened their compliance and their laws to align with international investors. So they're quite transparent on their different websites. As I said, whichever one you want to invest in or you want to maybe inquire about. They've got the regulated markets, they've got everything there, but you need to do your homework very well.
Awesome. Lastly, what advice would you give someone from South Africa or abroad looking to invest in Dubai today?
So I would say have a strategy in place. Number one, have a strategy, you have your plan in place of, where, what, why, how. Don't go because it's Dubai's the hottest place to be in, or
Mhm.
it's like the magnetic business hub right now. It's getting a quick buck or making a good investment. Do your homework properly. Even top people that have got money have lost money because of due diligence not done very well, research not done very well. So be selective and not emotional, I would say. So, like if you're going into real estate, focus on high demand areas, focus on maybe the off-plan projects rather than the built-up area already. Because if you're working with the off-plan, you buy directly from the developer and you save a lot of the cost. And there you need to pay 50% down, and then you pay 1% over 30 months. The If you're buying from a pre-owned or whatever they call it, there's different investment strategy or payment strategies there, and sometimes you can actually overpay as well. So check with the developers. I know people have been scammed as well. Check
Mhm.
track records with developers that they are top-notch developers like the Danubes of the world, the Ema, the Bengati is like big time. Samanas come on board as well. So check properly the reputation, I would say, of these developers before you invest. Use free zones. If you're starting up a business, make use of the free zones. It's much easier, much cheaper, simple. Once you get your foot in there, then you can venture out. In the free zone, it's 100% ownership, easier setup, tax advantages, and there's just so much more. You don't even have to have like a physical premises. You can work remotely. The other thing is get proper legal advice, engage with the PRO services on the ground there in Dubai. If you plan for whatever cost it is, I told you, times that by five and have money in the coffer, because expenses come out from under the cracks that you don't see, especially when it comes to the renewal of licenses and so forth. Just as the business is like sort of picking up, and then you get slapped again that you need to renew, and then you don't have generally funds to do the renews, etc. So don't underestimate costs. Always
Mm.
keep money in the coffer. The other thing to keep into consideration as well is the currency diversion. With South Africa, it's like they're 20, when they say, oh, 20,000 dirhams, you think, oh, 20,000 dirhams is not, but it's actually 120,000 dirhams. I mean, 120,000 rand. So be
Yeah.
cautious about how the diversion of the currency, because also we've got the rand volatility. So sometimes it doesn't always work out for the betterment for you. So when you see those, also those those things that look too good to be true,
Hmm.
research, do your homework, check these things out properly, because there's like, especially when they say high guaranteed returns or like zero risk, come on,
Mm.
you got to take these things really, really seriously. Also think long term, more, I would say 3 to 7 years before your business can really kick off the ground. Have patience. There's certain timing cycles. Like I said, it's like seasonal, certain areas depending on your business. So I would say, to sum it up, Dubai is, I think, one of the easiest global markets to enter.
Hmm.
But if you do your proper due diligence, don't follow, do the follow the herd mentality. Do your homework for yourself. Don't follow somebody else's, footprint. Do your own, because what they must have done, if they're running smoothly, and they're probably there 3, 7, 10 years, who knows. But if you want to start up, your business might not follow the same trend. Also, getting the partnerships going with the companies, it takes a bit of investigation. It takes a bit of elbow nudging, and it's like networking, I would say. It takes a lot of networking. So do your due diligence, and good luck to everybody that wants to invest in there.
Awesome. All I gotta say is thanks so much for your time, Tammy, and I'll catch you again next week.
Awesome, thank you. Love and light to all the viewers and listeners. Take care.